I got 8.5 from... I got 7.5 from writing. That's it. I just registered for my IELTS exam. And it's in 2 weeks. I can't believe that myself. But I feel like if I haven't done that, I would drag it even further. And I would end up not taking it. So that's why whatever happens for 2 weeks, I'm gonna lock in. And I'll just get whatever I'll get. Yeah, that's it. I'm done with the stress. Guys, today is the day and I'm taking IELTS today officially. Today, for some reason, the day is pretty gloomy and it rained earlier, but it's still beautiful. You can see the trees and stuff. I got my passport ID and we're gonna head to the center. First, I have speaking at 12. Then at 2:30 I have the main exam, so I'm gonna finish it all today in one day. 3 years ago I took IELTS. It was 7.5, but my exam dates were different. I'm hoping for the best and praying for the best, but again, I'm not setting high expectations because I am afraid of becoming disappointed eventually. But main thing before the exam, I have a positive mind. I'm not scared or stressed out. Maybe it just didn't hit, it hasn't hit me yet. That was an accident or whatever. So yeah, just arrived. Right now I have speaking at 12, which is like 20 minutes after, and registration will start at 11:45. So I'll be here for now, and then I'll go to the speaking exam. After like 20 minutes, I'll come out, and then at 2:30, I have the main exam. So let's go. It's like 11:30 right now and my heart is pounding. I started feeling stress only now. I feel like here are a lot of people and they're practicing their speaking, which is so funny, like as if that 5-minute practice will do anything. But I feel like at this point speaking questions will make me feel sick because I prepared so much at home. So we'll see. I tried to contact the people here who work, like the staff, and they said we're gonna call you ourselves. We have still like a lot of time, although like in the requirements they said we gotta come 30 minutes earlier, which is exactly what I do. But these people around me, they're not doing any well to me because my anxiety is increasing. Like I feel like how slowly it's like going up. So yeah, we'll see. 3 years later, Parangis is again fighting the same battle. Who could have thought? Well, I was kind of expecting this to happen, but anyway, hoping for the best. So just remember that you've come so far not to underperform in the exam under pressure and eventually get a lower score than you deserve. The reason why you're here is because you prepared a lot. You didn't come so far. You haven't prepared so far to underperform, which is the main thing. You prepared enough to get the score that you deserve. Period. Your desired score. Can I just get my desired score, guys? I don't know, people over here, they look so nervous. Some people look very chill, but I feel like I'm more nervous than them because for some reason this like fear has been growing in me. I don't know, it feels weird, but we'll see in the exam. Remembered another quote: worry is a is a sign of unpreparedness. So it's like the other day I saw a quote that said, studying is a sign of unpreparedness. So I was like, obviously we're gonna do that, period. Guys, please help.
A few moments later.
Guys, I'm just out of the exam. And it's so damn cool. Oh my god, let me get out. Let me get out. Damn, it was face to face. That's the main thing. It was face to face. And I think I could perform well. I expressed my opinion very clearly. And I was able to deliver my point in part 3. That's the main thing. I performed so damn well. I performed so damn well, and he was very happy at the end of the test. And he said, "How did I say?" I said the same thing, and I was very clear. It was about like community service and stuff, and I'm just so damn excited. Like he was at the end of the test, like yes, Ferengis, that was the end of the test, and like he was asking questions about like different stuff. So I'm simply excited, but we're gonna see what happens, and eventually see. But I don't know, I can't say anything really. So I'm out of the exam and I'm so damn excited, and I think it went well. It was about like community service, and I think I performed really well, especially in part 3, guys. Like he was trying to ask questions, like philosophical questions that are like against each other and controversial, and I could express my opinion. That's the main thing. I don't know what score she's gonna give me. Короче, во время спича он там притворялся, типа не слушает, чтобы меня типа distract, но я продолжила. Я такая, нет. That's not a distraction for me. I am better than that. I acted very natural. I spoke, I expressed myself, and especially in part 3. Like maybe part 1 and part 2 were like okay, but part 3, excellent. It was better than that. I smashed it. И короче, он вначале типа притворялся, типа как будто недовольный, да. Нахахал, да. Они специально так делают, чтобы увидеть вашу реакцию. И короче, и в конце, когда уже тест закончился, он улыбнулся и такой говорит: спасибо, have a nice day. Я такая: спасибо. Я не знаю, посмотрим, что там, как там. Давайте to get a drink. I want a drink. So time right now is 2, and it's like 1:40 something. So they dropped me off, and I'm gonna go there, wait, probably read something positive, and then the registration starts at 2. It's gonna be until 2:20, and then at 2:30 my exam starts. When it comes to speaking was good, but I think I could perform better. Like I didn't perform to my best. Like I know my own potential, right? And it's like really hard to like show your full potential in just 15 minutes. But I think I did pretty well, especially in part 3, as I said, and I was very clear, and I sounded very natural. I didn't try to push any vocabulary or anything like that. So we'll see. Right now I'm going into the test, hoping for the best, right?
1,000,000 zillion jillion dillion cotillion times later.
Alright, I'm just out of the exam. From my look, you can probably tell how tired I am. Don't expect 9 from listening, okay? I'll be glad if it's gonna be 7.5, because in part 4 I don't know. I was not concentrating. Part 2 and part 3 though, I'm kinda, confident, but part 4 I screwed it up like totally. And also in part 4 they were speaking faster with a weird accent. I didn't get it. So with my experience, and imagine people who have little experience in languages and language learning in general and taking that test. Anyway, reading part 1 was easier. Passage 1 was easier. Passage 2 was the hardest. I didn't understand. It was about ocean and visibility in the ocean, so it was harder. And in part 3, passage 3, it was alright. I didn't have any struggles. It was like alright. When it comes to writing though, I was so scared of writing. I got a bar chart, and then the question was, some people think that regular exercise and healthy diet is not important. It's not necessary to have, a healthy lifestyle. So I wrote like 270 something words, and it was alright. Like, I didn't have difficulty in coming up with ideas or writing in general. So I wrote like about cardio, that physical exercise, like I like body 1 about physical exercise and how it benefits our health, which is cardio. I talked about that in different like heart diseases, stroke, heart attack, etc. In body 2, I talked about healthy diet, that some food don't have nutritional value, or they have little to no nutritional value. So I think it was like pretty accurate. I don't know. Yeah, and I just came out. Now my siblings are on their ways. Passage 3 was about siblings and parents, and I really enjoyed it. Probably that's why it was easier, because I talk about siblings and parents and in general on topic, on this topic a lot. So yeah, I don't know how to feel. I'm not expecting 9 from listening, not expecting 9 from reading, not expecting 9 from, I kind of am expecting 9 from speaking, but it depends on the other person, right? Again, it's like subjective. I think he's gonna give me 8.5. I think he's not gonna give me 9. It's okay though. Why do I need 9? Anyway, I'm not an IELTS instructor, although they were like offering me a job, but I may consider this. Like, I'm not gonna promise anything. Yeah, let's wait for results and see you when I open the results. I'm heading to the university, and I just got an email that said that my results are out. I don't know, I'm panicking. I don't know if I can look at the results. Bro. Alright, let me get to my university, and then we're gonna check it. Alright guys, so I'm here. I've got my laptop, although I have very little battery, so we gotta be faster. But before, I want to tell 2 things. Worst case scenario and the best case scenario. Worst case scenario is me getting 7.5, because from writing I don't know what the examiner is going to evaluate me for, because I think I wrote it, my essay was better than my usual writing, but I don't know, I can't say anything. So if you put like 6.5 or even 6, then I might as well be good. Me getting 7.5 is the worst case scenario, because 3 years ago I got 7.5. What do you mean? In 3 years I didn't have any improvements. Best case scenario, like what I'm expecting kind of, is like what's most likely is me getting 8. From speaking specifically, me getting 8 or 8.5. Although I think I performed alright. But I feel like if I consider everything that I know, like my full potential, then I do deserve 9. But judging from my performance that day, I think he put me I don't know. And the best case scenario is me getting 9 from speaking, me getting 7 from writing. I am not hoping for anything from listening because I messed up so badly. I don't know what I got from reading as well, so you guys are giving me a heart attack. Okay, let's check it together. Check IELTS results. I'm scared. I don't know if I'm ready to do that. Guys, after like 13 minutes I have a class, but let's check it. It's like now or never. You know, I don't think my that's a B or whatever. I don't think my heart can endure this pressure because it's like it's pounding so badly. Guys, okay, I don't know if you can see it yet, but probably you can. It's loading. No, it's loading. I'm scared to look at. Okay, I mean, anyway, what is it gonna decide? It's not gonna decide my value, my worth. I shouldn't be basing, you know, my self-worth and self-value shouldn't be based on some type of test. Like, what do you mean? It's just a test. I can retake it. Damn. Where's the results? It says finisher booking. Okay. Okay. I think I'm ready. It says results are available. How do I look at it? Guys, no. By the way, I was really interested in looking at my picture in my certificate because he said, "Can you tuck your hair, you know, behind your ears?" And I was like, okay. And then I did this, so I probably look like this. I got 8.5 from speaking. I got 7.5 from writing. I got 7.5 from writing, guys. I got 7.5 from writing. No, I got 7. No, I gained weight. That's crazy. That's crazy. Overall, I got 8 from listening because I messed up so badly. It was so bad. 8.5 from reading, 7.5 from writing, 8.5 from speaking. Look at my speaking score. 8.5. Okay, well, probably that wasn't ideal, maybe. But no way. I am so proud of myself for my writing because I was worried about it. I was like, what am I gonna do? I don't know how to write. And I was like, I'm gonna be excited, you know, I'm gonna be so grateful even if I get like 7, you know, barely 7. I thought it was like barely 7, but I got 7. Because 3 years ago I was traumatized. I got 6 from writing and I did improve. And I got 8.5 from speaking, guys. I think I could do better. Yeah, definitely I could do better, but he was generous enough to put me 8.5. Oh my god, guys, I have to run to my classes. Okay, let's look at the certificate. Do we have certificates? Is it available here? Oh my god, the picture is so bad. Damn, who is this? It's not me. And even the examiner, he was like perfect. I was like, perfectly awful? I mean, it's fine. Who cares about the picture when you have 7.5 and 8.5 from speaking? You know what? I realized that I'm good at productive skills. And that's what the communication is about. I am good at listening and reading, you know, the skills that you produce. That you receive. But what you produce is so much more valuable. Am I just trying to, no, okay, let's not talk about it, because I feel like I'm trying to, you know, kind of cover it up and like making excuses and saying it was just, you know, I'm just better at it, blah blah blah. No. Yeah, let's go. Now I'm gonna send it to my teacher, to my teacher, to my parents, and to my friends. So I came to pick up my certificate, but then I remembered that I forgot my passport at home, and I was scared that I wouldn't be able to, you know, take it. So basically here I came to pick up my certificate, and then I realized that I forgot my passport. And the passport is like, you know, very important part of it. So they were like, as long as you have the picture, you're good. Like, we give it out. So let's come with me to take it together with me. All right, guys, I just unpacked my certificate and I made it in a Reels version, and it's so windy for some reason. Usually here we don't have winds. Right. That's me. Although my face is barely visible. But in the E version, it's so much better. So here I have listening 8, reading 8.5, writing 7.5, and speaking 8.5, and overall 8. Right. But the picture slates, just admit it, right? So yeah, that's pretty much it. And I feel like I'm going to retake one skill and then take another certificate, because I think it's worth it. Changing from C1 to C2 is definitely worth it. So yeah, here we go. That was pretty much it. Alright guys, I'm home. It's been 2 days since I've taken my IELTS, and I already got the results as I showed you earlier, and looking at these numbers feels rewarding. Like, I'm not gonna lie, because in my previous certificate, which I'm going to show you now, which is this, and if you remember the old packaging, here we have the old packaging. Here, this is from 3 years ago. I have 6. I have 7.5 from, I had 7.5 from reading. So my reading has improved because I started reading a lot of books. Listening, the same. I had 8. 3 years ago, I also had 8. Then, but it wasn't because of the test format. It was because of the, you know, of incompetence. I wasn't competent enough to get higher than 8. So that's why I got 8 the last time. But I believe this time, the reason why I got 8 isn't because I'm not competent enough. It's because test format? Am I just making excuses? Anyway, so this whopping 6 is so annoying, and that's why when I used to look at the certificate, I would be like, that's so unfortunate that I got 6 from writing. And I used to be so traumatized by writing itself because I got 8, like 6. And this time I was so scared as well, because I thought, well, I don't know how to write, because I remembered that score. However, I got 7.5 from writing. I was expecting barely 7, like barely 7. I was praying for 7 in writing, because I thought they would put me either 6.5 or even 6. That's how scared I was. Right. And looking at these numbers, I'm like, girl, that's, you know, kind of a reflection of your knowledge, of your hard work. Although I do know that I probably deserve better, but anyway, looking at this, feels different. Right. And let me tell you about the test itself, how it was, and my, you know, you saw my emotions, but anyway. So first we had speaking. In part 1, I had questions about diet, exercising. He was like, how do you keep fit? And like, what do you do in order to keep fit? And I talked about exercise, that I love doing exercise, and he was like, what type of exercise do you like? I didn't say that I go to the gym, which I did. Like, I could talk about that because I know a lot of knowledge in that sphere. And instead I said rope jumping. Well, I do love rope jumping. I have two jumping ropes. But that was the first thing that came to my mind. When you have anxiety, it's just the start of the exam and you want to, you just want to die right there. So then he also asked me about, in part 1, I don't remember. Yeah, that was probably it. And then in part 2, he was like, describe a person who helps others or who likes helping others. Yeah, it was something related to helping others. And I said, oh, I have a neighbor. And then I started describing myself because I did a lot of volunteering in community service, so I know a lot in that sphere. And then in part 3, he asked me about questions. He asked questions about community service, like charity, donation. He didn't mention that, but I was the one. He said he said charity, and I said donation, and like, using different words. And then we also like talked back and forth about whether like people who donate, if like in a society it becomes a standard, then is it going to be from the bottom of their heart? Is it going to change the intention if it's a, regular action? I said that in my, religion, it's one of the pillars that we donate. And then he was like, if it's one of the pillars, then does it change, the intention? And then I started talking about that. So we had a nice conversation, honestly. I really enjoyed it. And he also like felt that. He felt that I was enjoying, I was, really engaged in, in the conversation. And I even forgot, like at some point in part 3, I forgot that I was in the exam. Yeah. And eventually he said like, thank you so much, have a nice day. And I also said the same. And then I just went out of the room. And then after 2 hours, I had the main exam. In the main exam, what I did not like was, all right, let me start over. So in listening was all right. Section 1, 2, 3, okay, it was like very okay. I didn't struggle. Even in part 3, I didn't have any difficulties. But in part 4, that's when I kind of was lost because they spoke really fast. Because I got used to the format of part 4 where you back down a little, and then you just listen. At first, they give the introduction, they introduce the topic, but this time they started straight away. And I couldn't catch quite what they were talking about. And also the topic was very new. It was about forests. And after coming home, I also found the same test, and I was like, I refused to look at it because I didn't have the face. I was so scared that I'm gonna get 7.5, and eventually that would make my score 7.5, which I didn't want, obviously. So then part 4 was really hard. I missed one question, I think, and then I wrote whatever the first word was. And why it was challenging, because it was 2 words. Like, you could write 2 words, not like 1 word, like it's usually done. So that's why it seemed quite challenging for me. But anyway, I nailed it. I got 8. Duh. And then reading passage 1 was perfect. Like, I loved it, like literally, because I was sure of my true false not givens, because my weakest point is true false not given. I hate it. And I was for some reason very sure of that this time, of my answers, how accurate they were. And in passage 2 was so difficult. Like, I've never read in my entire life such difficult text. You know why it was difficult? It was first of all about marine animals, about ocean, like different fish, and the light they produce, and then they had a lot of names, like Latin words. And why am I supposed to know Latin words? The first thing, like, why do you combine these? I mean, maybe that's about competence. Maybe if I knew that, if I knew the Latin words, I would have gotten, 9. But anyway, I got 8.5. I was pretty proud of myself. Passage 3 was about, it was about parents, siblings, and children, like their role in a family, and how, whether you're the oldest, middle, or youngest child, that determines your personality and how it influences your life further, in the future. So I really enjoyed reading it because in my family we're the 3 of us, and I was kind of comparing it to my own family and really enjoying it. It was like yes, no, I don't think I had yes, no, not given. Yeah, I didn't have yes, no, not given. I had like author's opinion and then gap fill. Yeah, not gap fill, but like you gotta choose one word. Like they have like several collocations, and then you pick one, and then you put it into the into the place gap. So I had that, and I'm pretty sure I made mistakes in passage 2, and my passage 1 and passage 3 were perfect. So I'm sure of that. And then writing, the part that I was so scared of was writing, because my writing 3 years ago was worth 6. I don't know why. Maybe my writing just sucked. Maybe I was just bad at writing. But anyway, this time I really enjoyed writing the topic, about the topic, because my prompt was, some people think that regular exercise and a good diet is not necessary for a healthy lifestyle. Do you agree or disagree? So I said I strongly disagree, and then I gave, in past paragraph 1, I talked about why regular exercise matters. I talked about cardio, heart health, etc., blood circulation, fancy words. And then in body paragraph 2, I talked about diet, nutritional value of products and how it matters. So I slayed. She slayed. And my task 2 was 268 words around, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah. And in task 1, it was a bar chart, static chart from like 2001. I didn't have anything crazy like future, but it was definitely about age categories. So, and I wrote exactly 150 words. Not that I couldn't write more, I definitely could write more, but I preferred checking my task 2 rather than writing more sentences into my task 1. Guess what? When I started like one by one reading my task 2, I noticed so many mistakes, like spelling, typos. And I was like, damn, I wouldn't notice that. And that decreases your score for half a point. I was so grateful that I started checking, and even I, changed some synonyms and made some words more advanced. So like polishing. I polished my essay using those like 3 minutes that I had, or I think it was 5-ish minutes. So I was very proud of myself for being able to finish both essays under 55 minutes. So yeah, that's what it was. And then when I came out, I didn't talk about one like very specific thing. So while I was doing reading and writing in between, there was one dude in the exam room who was whispering something. He wasn't even whispering. He was like literally reading. Like, bro, we're reading, we're trying to concentrate, and you're here whispering, I don't know, a spell or what? What are you doing? Praying? I'm sorry, but you could recite your prayers inside, how I do usually. I was also like literally, praying for the best, but please, not in the exam. Anyway, so then I came out of the exam. I told, when I heard the whispering, when it got to the point where he was like literally speaking, and I wonder why nobody noticed that. I feel like he was on like closer to my side, so probably other people didn't hear. But anyway, I called the invigilator. I was like, can you hear whispering? He was like, no. I was like, someone over there is like reciting spells. And then I think he kind of also noticed it, and then he asked him. And then when I came out of the exam, I said, that was very distracting. He was like, well, we're sorry, he had hearing impairment. I was like, if he has hearing impairments, then why was he speaking? Like, that should not influence me. Duh. Anyway, so I was like, it's okay. You know, I talked to the invigilator and he resolved the problem, so it's fine. And I think it was the manager whom I was talking to, because that invigilator whom I asked, he was like peeking in like at the door. I don't know if he's watching. If he's watching, I'm sorry. I'm pretty sure like I'm not that popular so that people watch. Anyway, so that's pretty much it. What I can say from these 2 certificates is that I see improvement. I see a lot of improvement, except for now, for listening. My reading used to be 7.5, now it's 8.5. My writing used to be 6, and now it's 7.5. My speaking used to be 7.5, now I can officially claim that my speaking is 8.5. And if I retake listening, if I get 8.5, then my overall score is also going to be 8.5, and I'll be a C2 language user, expert user. No, I won't be expert user. It's only for band 9. It says somewhere between very good user and expert user. It says has fully operational command of the language, appropriate, accurate, and fluent with complete understanding. It's fine. I'm gonna get what I deserve, and this is the reflection of my knowledge, as I mentioned earlier. And it definitely is not what I am worth, because earlier when I talked to one of my friends at the university, she said, before I'm a student, I'm a human. So we're not gonna base our self-worth on just a piece of paper or on individuals who are considered experts, because they don't know me. Maybe I have, you know, really good English and I'm just hiding. Anyway, so that's it, guys. Thank you so much for watching, and if I decide to retake listening, I will also be recording that, and hopefully I'll get to fix it and I will be a C2 band holder. C2 level? It's not a band, right? Yeah, it's a level. So thank you so much for watching this video and going through this journey with me, and see you in other videos. Bye-bye.